The grand unification is a theory first hypothesized by Albert Einstein. The grand unification states that at high enough energies, all of the fundamental forces are unified into one force. What exactly does that mean? Well, to start, let's look at what it means by fundamental forces. The fundamental forces are gravitation, electromagnetism, weak nuclear, and strong nuclear. Gravitation is pretty simple. It's what we observe every day. Two different objects having a pull on each other, like the Earth on an apple and the apple on the Earth. And it is the weakest of the fundamental forces. Next is the weak nuclear force. This force is responsible for beta decay and other forms of decay, and also changes the flavor of quarks. This force is represented with the Y and Z bosons. They have a possible displacement of about 80 gigaelectronvolts. So the principle of uncertainty says that the range of the weak force is 10 to the negative 18 meters, or about 1/100th the width of a proton. Electromagnetism is the next strongest force. The electromagnetic force is manifested in electric charge and magnetic charge. It is mostly described through the transfer of photons, massless particles that carry light energy. It gives the atom structure and holds all of the electrons inside of the energy levels. Last is the strong nuclear force. The strong nuclear force holds the nucleus together. It is the strongest of the four fundamental forces. How the strong force works is by leftover color force that holds quarks together to make up protons and neutrons. Now that we know about the fundamental forces, we can now look at unification. We cannot understand grand unification without looking at the Big Bang. Most theories agree that at the earliest stages of the universe, like the singularity, that all the forces were unified. This is because at the singularity contained all of the mass and energy in the universe, so all of the fundamental forces were unified. The theory that I believe in the most is the Georgi-Glashow theory. This theory states that the leptons such as the electron, muon, and neutrino, and quarks are irreducible. This simplification can result in interactions that do not represent the baryon number. However, they will still represent the difference between the baryon and lepton numbers. This theory also states that when the quarks and leptons reach around 100 gigaelectronvolts, there will be spontaneous symmetry breaking, which is needed to unify the electromagnetic and weak force into the electroweak force. This is done using the Higgs mechanism to unite SU2 by YU into UEM. And similarly, the SU5 can have spontaneous symmetry breaking. This is a little bit more complicated and causes complete grand unification. The SU5 breaking occurs when a scalar field, that is usually the Higgs field, obtains a value of the vacuum expectation value, the highest electron volt value a subatomic particle can reach in a vacuum, proportional to the weak hypercharge, a conserved value in a quantum system that is a component of the weak force that determines a charge state positive or negative. This is represented as y over 2 is equal to, diagonally, negative 1/3, negative 1/3, negative 1/3, a half, a half. The SU5 is broken into subgroup SU5 and U1. The unbroken subgroup of SU5 has 24 bosons, which is double from the usual 12, and the sets are called X and Y, and carry both flavor and color, which can have spontaneous symmetry breaking, resulting in the creation of three left-handed particles, particles that have a spin vector negative with a momentum vector positive, and three right-handed antiparticles, particles that have an opposite charge to the left-handed particles, but with a spin vector positive and a momentum vector negative. The left-handed particles are vacuum 5, direct sum 10, direct sum 1, and the right-handed antiparticles are 5, direct sum vacuum 10, direct sum 1. Now there is a lot more math than what is shown here, but I do not have time to show that today. And all the math puts a proof on the grand unification theory of Georgi and Glashow.